This webinar will briefly go over the methods to find data, services, and applications at the new Vermont Open Geodata Portal. We'll start off by looking over the main page to see the various options for searching, and then we'll spend a little bit of time looking at the search results table, what you can do with the search results table, and what you can expect with the different options that might come up. We won't cover downloading or connecting to data and services in this webinar, but we will cover that in the next webinar. So the first thing that you'll notice is that there is a keyword search right up at the top of the page in the middle of the aerial image. We can type a word in there, and options will come up that we can use to narrow down that search a little bit, or we can go with the word we're typing in. Click on the search symbol to get things going. Just below the keyword search, you'll see a group of icons, ISO-themed categories, and you can see a word below each that explains the category. These are just categories of data. Pick one of these by just clicking on the icon, and again, you'll get a search results list. Just below the icons, we see a few more options for searching. Search by agency, which lists the 4 organizations that currently contribute to the portal, and you can limit your search results to what's posted by that particular agency or organization. We also have search by topic, which is likely to be a list of bullets that change over time. Topics that are related to a particular project that's being worked on, generally in state government at the moment, and when it becomes less relevant, it'll probably be taken off, and other topics might pop up here. Some other search options include new or recently updated data and offline data. And we'll explain offline data in a little while. New and updated data might be helpful if you know that a data layer you're interested in was recently posted or a new version of it was posted. You could click on that to narrow your search results. New data. Below those sections, we'll see the web services and applications or apps section. A few categories within each of those, and choosing any of those will indeed give us a search results table of, in this case, web services limited to imagery services, or perhaps apps limited to transportation. So let's start off by trying a keyword search. Let's try town boundaries, and we'll see our search results list or table. Notice that at the top of your search results list, there's a map indicating the extent of the results in the list below. In this case, they're all pretty much statewide, so it's not a very interesting map of extent. And with other data, you'll see more of a variety of extent indicated up there. We see that the top of the list indicates how many total results there are, as well as how many are showing right now. We're going to see 10 results per page. We can either click on the arrows to go through the pages, or we can scroll down to the bottom to click on the different page numbers to move around amongst the full list. We can sort our search results table using this little box to the right just below the map. By default, it's set to sort by relevance. We can also choose to sort by most recent or name. Most recent is not going to be that helpful in the near term because the date that's being referred to there is the date the data was posted to this portal, not the date that it was originally made publicly available. So pretty much all of the layers have been posted within the last few months. Over time, that might become more helpful because, again, you might know about a relatively newly posted data layer that you would like to find, and so sorting by most recent might be helpful. Name, again, that's only going to be helpful if you're familiar with how the data layers are named within the portal. Once you become familiar with the data, or if you know how it's named ahead of time, that might be helpful as well. We can also filter our results using tags over here on the left. Click on the More button to show all the tags relevant to all of these results. One little bug in this tag filtering that you need to be aware of is that in order for it to work properly, which is to say in order to filter down the number of results from where we're starting, you need to actually start with ISO theme. In this case, it would be ISO theme boundaries. So right now we have 27 results. If we were to click on any of the other tags in here besides isotheme, what we'd find is that that's actually filtering off the total 500 and some odd data layers down to that particular tag, not within this group of 27 results. If, on the other hand, we do start with isotheme boundary, we'll see that indeed it filters down to 12, as I indicated, 12 results, and we can actually continue to filter within that and perhaps get it down to even fewer. That bug does not apply to the other ways of filtering, the source and content type. You don't need to use the tag filter, the isotheme boundary, first in order for the source and content type tags to work properly. All right, let's go back out to our main data page and try one of the other ways of searching. Let's try in one of our isotheme icons. Try clicking on imagery. See, we get lots of results, 73 results. We also get a little more variety in terms of the extent shown on the map up top. Notice that every result in our list has a title, a description, some information below that description, as well as a thumbnail to the right. That title is always going to be a link. And something is going to happen when you click on that link. We'll talk a little bit about the different things that could happen depending on the particular characteristics of that data layer in a moment. And right now, let's just take a look at the fact that we have in many of the descriptions a link to the metadata. In the case of all the imagery, you're going to see this. And in some of the other data, most of the other data layers, you're also going to see a link to metadata. The reason for that is that if you were to click on this particular link, because it has this icon indicating it's an external link, meaning it's not simply going to go to an information page about that data, rather it's going to actually pop us into a different window that allows us to download imagery. We're not going to see a link to metadata unless we use this one right here. The thumbnail over to the right tells us some information about this entry, about each entry in our results list. The top bar indicates that it is data as opposed to web services or an application or offline data. The central image in the thumbnail indicates what isotheme category it is, imagery. And then the bottom bar of the thumbnail tells us the organization that posted this data, in this case, VT. Let's just quickly show you that when we click on a data layer result that has this external link icon, in some cases, in many cases actually, we're going to come to this tile data selection tool. I'm not going to go into how we use this and how we download the data and the other options we see over to the right here. Just want to point out that this is one possible result of clicking on your search result, and you'll know that something like that could happen if you see this external link. Saw that actually popped open a new browser window, and we have some options for downloading tile data at that. Our front page again. We can also search. Let's search another way. So we've done our keyword. We've done the isotheme categories. Let's also try the search by agency. So if we click on Vermont Agency of Human Services, this search results table of 6 items has a number of different things in it, including app. So app is short for application. It generally means an online mapping application. Once again, we're seeing this external link icon next to the title. We also do have some data here. See what happens when you click on the Vermont Social Vulnerability Index. That pops open a map app. If we were to click on this result that says data, does not have the external link icon, we actually come to an information page. that again gives us the extent and actually shows us the data, shows us the individual features in the data. Okay. See our description, title, a little more about the attributes, about the organization that posted the data, and an actual link to metadata from the information. A very big abstract. We'll talk a little more about what you can do once you get to an information page in the next webinar when we start talking about downloading. In addition to search by agency, we have search by topic, which will just give us another search results table with a list of data layers, new updated data, similar result, and then we have offline data, which does indeed provide a similar result in terms of a search results list. But the offline data is going to offer us a slightly different experience if we click on one of these options. Offline data refers to the few and the 4 data products that VTGI offers for sale. They're the only items that we offer for sale, and I'll explain why as we look at this. So as you can see, external link. When we click on this, we actually go to an information page back at the VTGI website about this particular product. The link right up near the top to order it goes to an online sales page. We see the price, and then we see this listing of everything that's on this product. So the price of this is simply the cost of the external drive itself, which is very big, and because this is all of the imagery that VTGI distributes, and the cost for shipping it to mail it to you. So this is an option if, for convenience sake, you would like to get all the imagery at once rather than having to download imagery one image at a time, which is your other option. And if you don't want to connect via a service, a web service. The other reason that we offer this is there are 2 things you can't get via download, and those are the uncompressed version of the imagery that we have. So the imagery that you can download is going to be in the JPEG 2000 format, which is a compressed format for obvious reasons, to make the download work, to make it not take forever. And you can actually get the uncompressed TIFF images. They will automatically be on any of the imagery products that you might purchase. The other reason we do this is, if we were to look at the LiDAR product, although you can get most of the LiDAR data by downloading it, there are a few items that are not available for download yet, the main one being any point cloud data. So if you're interested in the point cloud data associated with any of the LiDAR that we have, it will be on this drive, whereas you're not going to be able to download it currently from our portal. Other than that, all of the things that you purchase on these products is also available for free download. Okay, that's the offline data. Services. All right. So if we go back for a moment to imagery, actually let's go back to first. One of the other things that we offer is connection to data via web service. So here are Vermont parcel boundaries, web Mercator, and you can tell by the thumbnail that this is going to link us in some way to a service. We're not going to talk about what exactly we can do with this page and information here and the links here right now. We'll talk about that in the next webinar that we'll talk about how to download and connect to data and services. I just want to point out that this is what will happen if you click on the title of a service. Figure out what that means next webinar. Okay. Oh, and then the final thing that you might encounter when you do a search is prepackaged zip files that do not take you to an information page, but also do not take you to a tiled data download page. So it's data that's not tiled, but the only way to access it is to simply download it. And so what will happen when you click on it is it will simply download. So an example of that is the Vermont land cover land used for Vermont and Lake Champlain 1992 old land use land cover data. And notice that what happened was it just immediately started downloading right on my computer. And I can now go to where it's been downloaded to, move it to wherever I want it to go, and then unzip it. And in this case, this is actually because this is raster data, and the portal cannot serve up raster data directly. So we have to make that available either via tile data download or straight download. Right, and I believe that's all we're going to cover today in this webinar. The next webinar, as I said, will talk about what to do once you've gotten to the point where you've found the data that you're interested in, and what are the various options depending on the characteristics of that data or service and how you can then use it. So I hope that you'll join us for that next webinar, but if not, I hope you have a great day.